Hello everyone, welcome to Mars Mahadasha Antardashas. On this video I'm looking at Mars 7-year Dasha in your life. What will the sub-periods be for you and how can you judge in your own chart? If you're new to my channel, don't forget to sub below. Let's begin. Mars Mahadasha, one of the fastest moving and shortest Mahadashas, 7 year of great intensity, but 9 periods, very short periods within this in which everything is suddenly shifting. How do you judge these Antardashas? First of all, it's important to judge from the position of Mars in your chart. I'll show you how in a minute. And then you need to judge by the Karaka significance of each of the 2 grahas, which I will do for you on this video. And by the way, if you haven't seen the video on my channel, you should check it out. Mars Mahadasha. That video gives you all the details of what to expect, remedies also, and reading from your ascendant and position of Mars. I will put the link below and at the end of the video. So how will the 9 Bhukti periods of Mars be personalized for you? Will you get the best effects of them or the more difficult effects? All you have to do to judge every Antardasha is to find Mars in your chart and count how many houses away from Mars is the Lord of the Antardasha Bhukti. So say you're in Mars-Jupiter period. Where is Jupiter gone from Mars? Don't forget that the first house is where Mars is. So say this Mars is in Aries and you've got Jupiter Taurus, then it's 1-2 houses away is where your Jupiter is. So judge in this way for every Antardasha planet. The most favourable placement of any Bhukti Lord from Mars are when that Lord is in the 4th house from Mars, the 5th house from Mars, the 9th house and the 10th house from Mars. When the Lord is in these houses from Mars, you get the very best aspect of that Antardasha Bhukti. Why is this? Because Mars is able to collect the energy of that graha and purposefully use it for the best purpose in your life. However, when the Antardasha Bhukti Lord is 6 houses away from Mars, 7 opposition house, 8 houses and 12 houses, these positions will bring more challenges. I definitely advise you to put in remedies. Once again, they're on my main Mahadasha video. You can expect mixed results, some good and some difficult factors, when the Antardasha Lord is placed in the same house as Mars, 2nd from Mars, 3rd from Mars, and 11th from Mars. Now let's look at the individual Bhukti periods. Mars period, 4 months and 27 days of intense, almost manic activity I've seen. There is just no end to the comings and goings in Mars. It's an agitating, turbulent time for some people. But what you have to remember is that Mars is Dasha Sandhi. The whole of this 4 months, 27 days is the crossover between Moon Mars, from high emotion to high activity and desire nature. It's quite dramatic. So you're all gunning now to make changes in your life, as though you do not have a moment to spare. Your mind is racing. You are full of plans and activities. But is it going to actually get you anywhere? You have to see where Mars is in your chart. If your Mars is in the 1st, 3rd, 5th or 11th house, your Mars is very strong to make the most of this Mars period, and you will definitely be doing something dramatically different. Some of you moving home, some of you going for new jobs. Big changes are happening and you are full of courage and energy at this time. But it's still Dasha Sandhi, it's still that crossover period. There will always be that element of confusion. If you have Mars in the 6th house, 8th house, 12th house, you've got to be more cautious, but you probably won't be, because Mars will be gunning up now to make major changes. He will be full of enthusiasm and courage as in any other placement, but the trouble is with these placements of Mars in your chart, you'll probably be going round in circles. So you'll make so much effort, do so much to change your life, but probably by the end of this 4 month, 27 days, nothing will have really changed. You've got to be careful that you don't completely exhaust yourself in this instance. Mars Rahu period follows 1 year and 18 days. In this period, be very clear. Rahu will cloud your mind and it will be a difficult period for many people. Even if Rahu has a good placement from Mars, it will be somewhat easier for you to get ahead in your life, but you'll still find obstacles. Mars Rahu, these two malefic factors, are going to cloud your mind and make you full of desire and determination, but something trips you up. I've seen sudden factors come into people's lives in this 1 year, 18 days. The most common thing is something out of the blue happens. I've seen somebody have to have sudden surgery. Don't forget Mars is surgery. And of course, Rahu is hidden factors. So hidden factors come to the fore, had to have surgery. Everything went absolutely fine, but it was a shock. So Mars Rahu can have, for some people, these shocking effects. The fact is that Rahu will always bring something that isn't quite what it seems into your life. So new people come into your life at this time. They may be fine long term according to other factors, but be really careful that you check out. They will not be quite who you think they are when you really get to know them. That's the thing, because Rahu is Bhukti Lord. Bhukti Lord is who is coming into your life and influencing you. So take care. You may be offered a new job in this period. Something magnificent may seem to happen, but check it out. You may find it's not what it seems to be once you start working there. So as long as you are extra cautious, you'll be fine. It's not the time to make dramatic moves if you can avoid it. But do not fear, because for many people, when Mars-Jupiter period arrives, 11 months and 6 days, things smooth out. Jupiter brings into your life helpful people, wise people, sometimes money opportunities, sometimes educational opportunities, or if you are in education, it goes really smoothly now. So Mars, Jupiter have a good aspect together. They are actually helping each other. So enthusiasm comes up, but it's the right enthusiasm. People come into your life who are helpful to you. Family life is excellent. Children can come into your life at this time. So Mars gives you the right direction now. Now, if there is an ill aspect of Jupiter to Mars, it's even then, it's not going to harm too much. But you may find that there are expenses, that there is a loss of money when you have Jupiter not well placed to Mars. On the whole, though, Jupiter-Mars is a time to push out the boat. It can be great for foreign travel, holidays. It can be fantastic for spiritual development, for studying astrology, because Mars, by the way, is ruling astrology. So Jupiter gives you the deep, in-depth knowledge of occult factors, spiritual wisdom. So it's a great time for pilgrimage in a way, for really increasing wisdom and understanding. For most people, it's helpful. As I say, the worst factors of Mars Jupiter are over expansion, over enthusiasm, and just letting everything rip in your life. That would happen if Mars and Jupiter are not well placed by house to each other. After the expansion of Mars Jupiter, though, comes the 1 year, 1 month, and 9 days of Mars Saturn. This is perhaps, together with Mars Rahu, one of the most difficult periods. Even if there is a good aspect between them, it's still going to be obstacles, delays, restrictions. But you will be frustrated beyond endurance, because Mars has hold of you now. He wants to move ahead. He wants to change. He wants to be up there fighting the battle. But Shani says no. Shani says, here's the obstacle. You can't go any further than this. You've got to sit still and check something out. So frustration, all feeling of absolutely being held back by factors outside of your control, come into most people's lives in this Mars-Saturn period. How do you get through this time? By being patient. Patience, Shani's greatest virtue, will help you through. Shani remedies, Mars remedies, remedy everything as much as you can here. But the greatest remedy is patience. Just don't push through. Just try to see this through, because actually what's happening is Saturn is putting up barriers because something's not quite right now. If you've made progress so far in your Mars Mahadasha, be happy with that and just maintain things, because Mars Saturn, I found, can bring up some difficult health issues again. There can be bone problems, teeth problems, hair problems. Can't tell you how many times I've seen these things in this Mars Saturn period, and it's all coming from one thing: a big amount of stress. Stress level goes rocket in this Mars Saturn because you are frustrated and you're trying to push through. So it's a time for hard work, patience, meditation if you can do it, and most of all, don't get into difficult quarrels with father figure, superiors, and all of this, because Saturn has a rulership there. Take advice and don't push ahead. But after all the frustration and stalemate of Mars Saturn, along comes Mars Mercury. 11 months, 27 days, you'll be on the move. Most people travel. Education is good. You can start a new course. You can start a new business. Helpful people come into your life if Mercury is in a good aspect to Mars. New ideas come to you. You can push ahead with a very good enterprise at this time. Money matters increase because you have good ideas. So you're very agile, very much doing things on a whim in this Mars Mercury. And as I say, if there is good aspect from Mercury to Mars, you can kickstart many factors in your life. But if Mercury is not well placed to Mars by house, you're literally running round in circles. Non-stop travel, which drains you and doesn't really get you anywhere. Misunderstandings with your friends, particularly. Misunderstandings with your family sometimes. Siblings, particularly female, because Mercury is sister. So quarrels, misunderstandings, and basically mishaps because you make mistakes. Mercury with Mars makes you very impulsive. So signing a contract, buying anything, selling anything, all of these Mercury factors take care. Mercury not well aspecting to Mars, you can make mistakes. But on the whole, it's a fast moving year with many interesting factors. Very often new friends come into your life also. Next, we come to the short and intense period of Mars Ketu, 4 months, 27 days. Another time for absolute caution. You see, even if Ketu has a good aspect to Mars, they are explosive energy. Ketu is like Mars, full of anger, but it's hidden and it can just explode. And Mars is actually enthused by this Ketu aspect, and no fear, just doing things, absolutely pushing through, but it can be dangerous. So you have to have caution. Sort of things I've seen are health problems coming up. Sudden events, accidents, etc. can happen with this Mars Ketu because something unexpected which you don't see is there and causes mishap. So absolute caution, patience, and not pushing out the boat is the way to get through. You can lose money in this time. You can make mistakes in a business. So whatever you do, don't do anything too new, I would say. Stay steady, stay calm, watch your health. Avoid travel also, because Mars Ketu can give wasted travel. Ketu is headless. He's just going round in circles. He's no real direction at all. So Mars Ketu doesn't give you direction. What can you do in this 4 months? Study astrology. If you are interested in astrology, Mars Ketu could make you an expert astrologer. Ketu has all the knowledge from many lives. Mars is astrology. So spiritual factors, meditation, astrology are excellent in this short period. Next, we have Mars-Venus period, 1 year and 2 months. Now, Mars and Venus are actually neutral to each other, but depending on the strength of either in your chart, if you have Mars very strong, like in a fire sign, and in Kendra, well, Mars will absolutely dominate and could boil Venus, because Venus is basically water. So the fire boiling up the water, all sorts of explosive situations in your life, passion, infatuations, love affairs can absolutely happen to some people in this Mars-Venus Mahadasha. But if you have Venus stronger, it's slightly better because Venus cools down the impulsivity of Mars. A good aspect, though, from Venus to Mars definitely helps. It smooths out relationships at this time. You're getting closer to people. You're telling more to people. You're sharing more with people. It can help relationships. Or if it's not a good aspect, Venus to Mars, it can hinder relationships and give all sorts of misunderstandings. Venus-Mars can also hinder business if there is a bad aspect because you're too impulsive and you make monetary errors at this time. But if there is a good aspect, then new business opportunity can be there. Funnily enough, one of the most common things I've seen in Mars-Venus is an obsession, because Venus is emotion jala. So something grabs your mind. Mars gets obsessed with something emotional. It doesn't have to be romantic love affairs or relationships. Just you find some new interest and you are a little bit obsessed with it. You put so much energy into it. So Mars-Venus has tremendous explosive energy. Make sure that you put your energy into a good area of your life. Maybe getting fit, maybe having a new diet, although to be honest, Venus is very self-indulgent. But whatever it is that you put in energy to, make it work constructively for you, because that obsessive energy can be positive. Mars Sun period, 4 months and 6 days, again a hot-headed period. The Sun is of course fire itself and Mars is fire element. So a lot of people, doesn't matter what the aspect between Sun to Mars is, ego becomes very, very strong, impulsivity. You just change things overnight. You could just leave your job. You could just change your job. You could start a new health routine. You can just do anything on a real impulse and whim. And it could be successful. If the Sun and Mars have a good aspect to each other, you could get promotion. Sudden opportunities come to you. Superiors notice you. You make a real impression if you are in any job interview in this time. If you have strong Sun, strong Mars, nothing gets you down. You're just pushing through any obstacles with no problem at all. But for everybody, be cautious, because Sun Mars can give accidents, because Mars and Sun together give you that fire element of sudden factors happening. So you have to be cautious with your health at this time. Heart, particularly cardiovascular system, can be very sensitive in this 4-month period. If there is a really bad aspect between Sun and Mars, watch relation with father, government agencies and your boss. There could be some real contention in this period. Finally, we come to Mars Moon, 7 months period, which will end Mars Mahadasha for you. It's quite a transition because Rahu is coming in now, and the influence of Rahu is strong. Particularly Rahu eclipses the moon. So you need to have a strong moon to get through this in one piece. Let me show you how this will be. If the moon is in good aspect to Mars and the moon is increasing in light, so moon is in a good house from Mars and moon in your chart is increasing towards full moon, therefore a bright moon, you can have great family happiness. You can make good domestic changes. Your family supports you. You can make changes in your family. Even childbirth sometimes can be there. You can do well in all factors relating to public service and public mood. You are in tune with the public at this time, and if your career is public orientated, ruled by the moon, it can actually go well. So you can make important, successful changes, particularly domestic changes in this time. On the other hand, where your moon is dark at birth, coming towards new moon, or decreasing in light, the darker it is, the more towards new moon, the more difficult, and it is not well placed to Mars by house, you are going to have difficulty with sudden factors that take you by surprise. You make changes and you wish you hadn't made them. You do things and you regret them. Your mind is clouded. Your mind is heavy. Your mind is made impulsive by Mars and you're not thinking clearly. So be very cautious if you have this in your chart. You see, Moon Mars is coming close to Rahu now. So they often say that Moon Mars, if it goes well for you, Rahu will be good. And if it goes badly for you, it will just continue on for the next 2 years of Rahu. So it's a disturbing factor, isn't it? Because Mars, Rahu, two malefics closing in together with the moon, as it were, sandwiched in between. The best way to get through this period is to make the most of the helpful factors. There will always be people to help you. There will always be good advice. There will always be people willing to support you if you reach out at this time. On your screen right now, Mars Mahadasha. Check that out also for more details of this time period. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to sub below. Goodbye for now. God bless everyone.